NDC for omo de omo say tax de omo empe enti e-levy na afa to omo do aka ni nyina no omo yi afiro say NDC for the tax bi eba minority leader Afenyo Markin zebusia nebu efu wa pilot kra aha Island Media Ghana overshare ama fufuro enya bi ahye no like so de amame enra 26 March kopie mo parliament abusia na chese Sam George communications minister woni Afenyo Markin's minority leader abusia akoye chese tomamento anate say empanyifo we kana we yaka ene kokofa baye abusia Sam George was say Afenyo Markin's minority leader wakwa kan sem bi achese sansem no hu ni say offensive words achese ewese speaker ema no etwesan no pa echew abusia ensem bay na Afenyo Markin's ekoko kan ye was say majority for MPs ni bi wo kire NDC MPs ni bi wono ma parliament yankasa omma ombeba na adu voting time omba so asabi no ma betina kire na dede hunu ena omoye abusia ni ebedi kan ya hwe Sam George o ka che speaker say o ma Afenyo Markin entwisa ensem ye o kan no ensa na hwe se dia Sam George ne bu asi afuna ye hwe ni video na ye wi akwakohwe Afenyo Markin nsem na o kan semfum so bi ewo ho enti ye kwani akwakohwe Sam George ne nsem no ede aba.
We are all colleagues in the house. For the minority leader to say that some of us don't come to the chamber and we are only whipped in to come and make noise when it's time to vote is offensive and must be withdrawn because it is unparliamentary. He must apologize and withdraw.
Na we said there Sam George na ni asi abre na ne bo asi afu a ade ya sansem na Afenyo Markins ekan no ne bo enyu so abusia ensem Afenyo Markins enso ekan no ye hwe baby kakra bi didi atemo ka che majority for ni say omo didi o say they are making noise omo sori omo ma parliament edu voting time ano ma ba mba so betina akire na omo didi wunu okoka sha na omo de omo anim etete abusia Yente minority leader Afenyo Markins nsem ono so eka kire majority for no parliament.
It is very clear to me that you are not ready to listen to dissenting views, and particularly those who come here to heckle. They come in during voting time. Those who really want to debate, they stay. We have few of you who stay in for debate. When it gets to voting, you are whipped in and all you come is to make noise and distract and to be heckling.
Honorable
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I think the minority leader Mr. Speaker, the minority leader was still on his feet when my good friend, the communication minister, got up to interrupt him. I know that. But Mr. Speaker, the reason I rose up is because you ever ruled here that when the leaders are on their feet, it is only the two leaders who can rise up on a point of order against them. I want your guidance on it. Whether we are still sticking by the same rules or the rules have changed. Because Sam George is not sitting here. He is now a minister. And I've also seen a new person sitting at the front bench and he's been shouting. He keeps shouting and banging the table. Mr. Speaker, he would either he goes to sit at his place or he remains as a leader. I should not be banging the table. But Mr. Speaker, I really need your guidance on the first point I raised. I thank you very much.
Honorable members, let's get it clear. When you are on your feet speaking, you listen with a rapt attention. Honorable members, when you are debating, and you are out of order, sometimes we know it at that point that if a member is on his feet, we are inclined to listen to that member. Honourable members, when there is no issue or point of order and you are on your feet, the speaker may ignore you. Honourable members, let's be guided by the rules. For you to say that some members do not come to the chamber, they only come to make noise. Let's consider this statement as to whether it is offensive or it is not offensive. Honourable members, though the leaders have a right to debate without interruption, does not necessarily mean that when a clear case is made, I will not listen to the member. Honourable members, if the use of the word, some members do not come to the chamber, they only come to the chamber to make noise, according to our rules, is offensive, then I will call on a minority leader to do the needful and let's make progress.
Mr. Speaker, before I proceed with my submissions, let me, in accordance with your directive, restate my point that members must be patient to listen and listen in silence. I keep reminding the majority backbench that if they disrespect our front bench, they shouldn't expect the leader of the house to be respected. Because, Mr. Speaker, when the leader is on his feet, we try to listen. Even this afternoon, the leader went below the belt, but I restrained myself. Mr. Speaker, please. Mr. Speaker, I believe that it is unacceptable to be yelling, recklessly heckling when a leader is on his feet making an argument. And Mr. Speaker, you did indicate that on such occasions where there will be even the need to interrupt, it should take the leader to interrupt me. But not when backbenchers will be shouting and all that. But, Mr. Speaker,
Honourable members, order. Honourable members, order.
when they start heckling, they start hiding their faces. Be bold and let me identify you. When we meet at the coffee area, you and I. Show your faces. Let me see. Mr. Speaker, that is on a lighter note. It's all right. Mr. Speaker, all we are saying is that this government must act in good faith.
Honourable Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker,
Honourable Minority
this
Leader.
government must act in good faith.
Honourable Minority Leader, I urge upon you to do the honourable thing and let's make progress. So please, Honourable Minority Leader, please.
Speaker, so my colleagues at the backbench, respectfully, let's have some tolerance to listen to one another. I promise you that to the extent that you will be quiet and listen, you won't be hearing phrases like "you are making noise." You won't hear that. So you be quiet. Don't make the room noisy. Don't make the chamber noisy. Just be quiet. Mr. Speaker, I would want to encourage the government, by way of conclusion, that the government should act in good faith.
Honorable Minority Leader, I humbly call upon you to do the honorable thing.
If I'm concluding, I will say it. I will do it in conclusion. Please, leave that to me. Mr. Speaker, the government must act in good faith by standing down this bill for further consultation. That said, I would want to take away the aspect of my submission that my colleagues who were heckling were making noise, and that I would also urge them not to be doing that again. Mr. Speaker, thank you so much.
Honorable members, a point of order was raised when a minority leader was speaking. Honorable members, the words that some members do not come to the chamber, they only come to make noise, is ordered to be expunged out of the record as offensive and against our own standing order 1232.
This thing started some few weeks back. I decided to ignore, but today and this very time, this evening, I want to respond. Mr. Majority Leader, most respectfully, I shall continue to accord you every respect. Please allow debate to flow. It is very clear to me, that you are not ready to listen to dissenting views, and particularly those who come here to heckle. They come in during voting time. Those who really want to debate, they stay. We have few of you who stay in for debate. When it gets to voting, you are whipped in, and all you come is to make noise and distract and to be heckling. Mr. Speaker, the point here is the finance minister should stand down this bill. There should be further consultation on this matter. The industry players have issued a statement.
I recognize the minister responsible for communication.
The industry players
Yes, Minister for
have
Communication.
expressed some concerns.
Honorable Minority Leader, I recognize the Minister for Communication.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker,
Ebusiana chese we ni nsem mienu a eno de course e Parliament House o timu se Sam George ni Afenyo Markin de akwakoye bibio ho between omu mienu entem na ebusia ye beka ya NDC fo ebeba no omo ye campaign omo nsem bi omo keka to abonte kire Ghana fo nam so e ma Ghana fo bi eto abakra de ma NDC fo ne se omo ba omo de ye tactics no omo empe esense NPP aban enna na Dankwa Akufo-Addo eba ye no ene otim se boys command omo ade omo sika akotwa bet no ni atete percent e de free mu abusua chese wan kasa kra usika kakra obi di asende wa okoyi adi no na chese ya tetetewo ama sika no akwakoye kuma bia no NDC fo se omo de omo ba sa taxes ni nyina ombeyi e de free wa abusua eye finance minister yewura ato FORSON wo kasa abra wo ready budget no ene o ma yete ase se eye e-levy omoyi afiri ho no betting tax omoyi afiri taxes awudo bebre obobogbo so achese omoyi afiri ho no na busia bibi aba be pie mu aye finance minister kese ato FORSON wo chire mu asesei no eye large scale mining from the tax bi eba esan se omo anya ne sam scale mining for no enu se bia se ya afio se mantle omba bebu akonta na wan sha ombeka se enfaso kakra bi ene ba eba sa aban no enya eye sika papa bia emfamfiri sa large scale mining for no enti omo de tax bi ba chese abusuan omo eba beji no was large scale mining for no wonom eno no sa tax no ansana omo ba be omo akonta no na chese wono atofo no madika te sa tax no e de free wonom chese ebeboa ama omai no atimi akoso abusia yenyina be kai so NDC fo se omo de tax de omo mpede benti e na okan sa nsem ye kwankwo pie mu parliament house yenwura kese atofo se ne nsem o kirem e de fa sa taxes we e ho ye kwankwo tie enfamra.
Mr. Speaker, you don't tax sectors that are not doing well. I cannot decide to add additional taxes on agriculture. And Mr. Speaker, and I cannot, for example, decide to tax the cocoa that is not doing well. Or decide to tax the ordinary Ghanaian whose living standard has deteriorated over the years, including the tax on sanitary pads. That is not what I'm seeking to do. Mr. Speaker, when the cost of living has deteriorated over the years, my tax policy should not be targeting those ordinary Ghanaians that are not doing well. Mr. Speaker, the gold sector is doing exceedingly well. It's doing exceedingly well. So it's only rational. It's only rational and prudent for a Minister of Finance to identify the sector that is throwing out abnormal profit and tax them accordingly. Mr. Speaker, the fact remains that we are all politicians. Mr. Speaker, we are all politicians. We have our political parties and our lineages. Mr. Speaker, but there comes a time that you decide to support your country. Mr. Speaker, the time is now. When mining companies are making abnormal profit, you are saying that we shouldn't tax them, but we should rather tax the ordinary? Is that what you are suggesting? Mr. Speaker, that you are opposing this progressive tax. Mr. Speaker, this tax is progressive. E-levy is regressive. Mr. Speaker, betting tax is regressive. We are introducing a progressive tax. That is what we are doing. Mr. Speaker, aside that, all what we are saying is that we are social democrats. We believe in protecting the poor. We believe that if the rich or companies are making good profit, tax them and redistribute it. Mr. Speaker, the tax that is coming in, the tax as we are going to benefit from, we are going to use that to increase the school feeding program. We are using that to increase the allocation going to the LEAP. Mr. Speaker, we are using those taxes to buy sanitary towels for school girls. That is called redistribution. That is what we are doing.
Ebusia Rainy and Sama Yerakese ato force in one so e kan de fa eye large scale mining for no sika na se to a omo beje e di afri wo mu wonum Ghana for je to omo so se NDC for mo se tax de mo mpe na enti de be ebiem enti na mo de ba se wutwe ni ye pa ato force obobobobo eniema bi ebusia yeda so ejina mu parliament house wo se dem di kaka se Sam George ene eye minority leader Afenyo Markin ensem omu yi ye kire no ena Sam George esi ni duasi ni pise say speaker ama eye Afenyo Markin antwe asan dia ene proceedings no ebusun ye nrada nko muntu aso yankwenekwa video bi abra speaker ehye minority leader Afenyo Markin say sansem no kan no wontwe ensan broni beka say on patch na say apologize ebusun yankwenekwa abra Speaker ehye Afenyo Markin say wonche sansem no enyina ensane ehwe de yes Afenyo Markin de wi ane boasiafu na woguso kasetia eye majority for na abusia ire videos ni bi efam na ehwe ba ye beto aso.
I am in my seat and Mr. Speaker, I want to state for the records that in this house, it is unparliamentary, it is unbecoming, and it is unacceptable. Mr. Speaker, if it was any of the first-timers at the back who failed to attend orientation, who are going to behave that way, we will forgive them.
But not when it is the Osahini who is the minority leader. He must set a good example. He must withdraw and apologize to this side of the house. And so, Mr. Speaker, he must withdraw.
Honorable Chris Minyako, please resume your seat. Yes, Minority Whip.
Speaker, you had earlier recognized the Minister for Communication to speak. Speaker, may I refer you to Order 115? Order 115. The Minister for Communication is in direct breach of Order 115, and therefore I invite you to rule him out of order. Yes, and his comments should be expunged from the records. Check. Open your records. Open your orders. Go and sit on your seat. Mr. Speaker.
Ebusia kamia say no eye minority for no omo ntwem fa ma NDC for ne kra ni titiri ni nyina agina eye Afenyo Markin so esan se wono de uye bibi wo parliament house wono uye bibi wo no kwade a master obekeka na adwen de akyerew efa ba bia na Afenyo Markin ni se bi okan ya na ebusia ye hwa eya na odi ese wo kan esan se de wi obesia kano no na ase ya na duru fa ba bia na asa akyea kakra eya na akyea kakra so ki ehwemu anu aka nsem okan ye no esan se na nye boni because na okasa wo kire se NDC fo mo de amose mo pet taxes na dienti e na mo de tax e babu so video ni e pam ye wu se NDC fo na se majority no ye dede e wa akire because okasa na no nsi e no ma start se o mu ye dede no e na nam so ahwe share na bufu a okache o mo so le o betena eye parliament a dede hunu na sabi omo ye omba na omo tete omo ye omo adi chese omo ye omo anim nkete okoka na omo do omo anim e de asiesie e mo woka se MPs ni bi okrampa omo ma parliament kire adu voting and san no mamba parliament on ba so asabi ensemhunu ni dede hunu e no mba betena eye parliament house wo e de eye ebusia afiwe de eye MPP fo mo parliament o mo ntwe eva ma NDC fo kram ebusia message say obe share video ama foforo enya bi ahwe one like wa comment so e de amame enra de si wo parliament e na me de ba be so mo aha eya Island Media Ghana midin de akire broni me da